validity wherever possible. This is the second part. And third part to be focused is design strategies and many single results, means many single results that you have learned in classical approach or in fluid mechanics or any SOM or anything. These needs to be combinedly applied on for to find some of the solutions. Now, for example, if you take the vehicle surface or the construction of the vehicle or how the shape of the vehicle is there, it comes under the structural part, right? It is not the fluid part. So this is the structural part, how the shape and all is. So, hello. So this is the structural part, and wherein this aerodynamic flow of fluid is the fluid mechanic part. The flow of fluid is the fluid mechanic part. And the flow of fluid, the solution, how the uniform flow takes place over the surface of the vehicle, will have two solutions over here. Due to the fluid flow, that is fluid mechanics, and due to the structural analysis. So the solution of structural analysis combined with fluid mechanics has to give one solution to the problem of the fluid flowing on the structural surface of the vehicle. So these three things, that is the fundamental of fluid mechanics related to vehicle aerodynamics, second, experimental result and the base of fluid mechanics, third, the many existing single results combined to give a general solution. These three things will be focused in the entire AAA. Okay. Now in the scope, the first three basic things, as I have said, the flow of air around the vehicle, flow of air through the vehicle, and flow process within the machinery. The first two are interrelated. Now the flow of air around the vehicle. The flow of air around the vehicle means on the rooftop, below the this over the rooftop, bonnet, boot, and then around the doors, windows, and under the floor. Okay, so this flow of air around the vehicle. Next is flow of air through the body. Through the body means entering through the grill to the radiator, then to the engine compartment, then to the driver's compartment, then to the passenger's compartment, then through the various components, and that is flow through the body. So this is the difference between flow around the vehicle and flow through the vehicle. So flow through the vehicle means hitting the vehicle at the starting point, through the grill, through the radiator, through the components, then to the passenger driver compartment, passenger compartment, and then leaving out. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Then yes.
Are you presenting something?
Yeah, actually the problem is the presentation is getting done by the I'm not presenting the book, but I'm explaining it. Only 3 points, that is flow of air around the vehicle, flow of air through the body, and flow processes within the machinery. That is the next slide. Actually, sir might have not, yeah.
Okay.
So these are the basic principles: flow of air around the body, flow of air through the body, and flow processes within the machinery. So these are the three things which I was telling you all. So as I told you all, what is flow of air around the body and flow of air through the body and flow processes within the machinery. Now the first two goes together. How? Whatever the flow field is there around the vehicle will decide the flow through the body, right? Whether the flow outside is laminar and what is the speed of the fluid will decide the flow through the radiator, through the engine compartment, through the passenger compartment, through the driver compartment, and so on. So both the first 2 points are interrelated to each other. Like, what is the field of the dimensional coercive flow, whatever type of flow field is there, whatever the Reynolds number of that fluid is there, will decide the flow through the components. Okay, because directly the air without touching the outer field is not going to go through these components. Agree? Like it is not going to directly jump into the engine compartment without touching the bonnet. So there will be a field created over the bonnet. Okay, and that field of the fluid is going to have an effect on the engine and so on the components. Similarly, that is why these two things are related to each other. But the third thing, that is flow processes within the machinery, does not depend on the two. Means how the fluid is taking or moving within the engine or within the transmission does not depend upon the above two. Okay, once the field has been created, once the fluid flow around the engine and transmission has taken place, now the working of the engine will make that fluid flow around inside it or within it. The working of the transmission, the assembly of the gears, okay, will make the fluid flow within it. So the fluid flow within the machineries or within the components inside them is not dependent on them. Okay, so these are the three things of the basic principles. So the first two fields are closely related, and the flow of air through the engine compartment is directly dependent upon the flow field around the vehicle, and these fields should be considered together. And the flow processes within the engine, transmission and other components are not connected directly with the first two. Okay, and next is the internal and external flow. Now the flow that flows around the vehicle is divided into two parts, internal and external flow. The external flow causes drag, lift and crosswind. This you have done, but we need to do in depth in the upcoming chapters. Here in short I will just listing it, what are the different external or what are the forces and what are the different types of flow. So internal and external flow. So external flow causes drag, lift and crosswind, and whereas internal flow, two major concerns are there: flow through radiator and engine compartment, and next is heating and ventilation of passenger compartment. Heating and ventilation of passenger compartment. Okay, so first we will take the external flow. In external flow, the drag D is directly proportional to the square of the velocity. So in this case, in the external flow, the aerodynamic drag D as well as the other force components and moments increases with the square of the vehicle speed. So D is directly proportional to V square. So how you are going to calculate this D? Hello?
Coefficient of drag.
Yeah,
Area
coefficient of drag, area, but what area? That is the
Projected area.
frontal area, yeah, projected area, and density of air or the fluid, because it may happen you may take some other fluid and you may test. So density of the fluid and the speed of the vehicle. So this is like you are going to calculate the drag, and what is important is the coefficient of drag CD. So CD rho A V square upon 2. This formula you have done in FM also for aerofoils. Drag coefficient you have calculated. The big derivations you have done where you calculate v square upon 2. This is about drag. Now let's come to CD is non-dimensional drag coefficient. A is the projected frontal area of the vehicle and rho is the density of the surrounding air. The drag D of the vehicle is determined by its frontal area. So if you will see the frontal area, the projected frontal area, you can see the plane is there, projected plane is there, lights are being emitted and the projected frontal area. So you need to calculate this area, and for this area you need to calculate the drag. So this is how you are going to calculate the drag. Next is lift. Okay, now the distance between the streamlines ahead of the car and that compared with the above of the vehicle is an indication of the lift, and lift is perpendicular to the flow of fluid, means lift force is perpendicular to the fluid flow. So it may be negative lift, it may be positive lift. Okay, so it depends that we are going to do in depth again when we are going to particularly deal with lift, what is negative and positive lift. So the distance between the streamlines, so on the concave part, that is on the bonnet part and on the windshield part, the fluid flow is there, and on the rooftop part. So the difference or the distance between the streamlines on the car, that is on the bonnet side, and that on the rooftop part gives aerodynamic lift. So this is how lift takes place, and we will see what happens on the windshield area, how it gives suction or upstream or downstream. So that is about lift. Then you also know the crosswind. So with crosswind, the airflow around the vehicle is asymmetric. Like if you will see the very first diagram where you have seen a car and the streamlines around it, the very first diagram that is there in the PPT. So if you have seen that, so it's like only the longitudinal flow of the streamline is there. There is no side flow on the doors and windows side. So it is the flow only on the midsection of the vehicle. Okay, it is the flow on the midsection of the vehicle. You can see. So this is the flow along the longitudinal axis, and it is at the midsection of the. Hello.
Ma'am, sorry to disturb, ma'am. The slide is not being presented.
I can see on my screen.
It's not being shown on my screen.
That car, you can. Everyone means you all can see that car and the flow around it, no?
No, ma'am.
The streamlines around it.
Yes, ma'am.
This
No,
one.
No, ma'am.
The problem is like, sir, Ibrahim sir is actually presenting the PPT, and the problem with my phone was like the PPT was.
Excuse me.
Yes,
See, whoever
yes, sir.
is having problem, you are requested to pin that screen. Okay. So go to my please pin to my particular screen, and you will see the. Hello.
Afan.
Hello.
Afan.
And guys can select Ibrahim sir's ID, and you can pin his icon.
Just pin it, and you will get everything.
Actually, the words were very small when I was presenting on my screen, so it would have not been visible to you all. So that is why sir started presenting it. So, high obligations to you, sir. Now you all can see.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can see this is the flow around the vehicle, that is at the mid section of the car and along the longitudinal axis. There is no flow around the or on the top or on the boot side only. The flow will be the flow will be around the entire vehicle. So we will be having the lateral forces also. But the effect of lateral forces this have a little bit instability for the handling of the car, like especially when the driver is continuously steering, means when you are following the straight lane, so issues are less, the car is very much more stable. But when the handling of the steering, when you are taking a turn right, left, or lane changing is happening, and when you are going with the high speed, so then these crosswind causes the instability or difficulty in handling of the car. So this is with crosswind, the airflow around the vehicle is asymmetric to the longitudinal center plane, because depending upon how your design of the rear view mirror is there, how your car door panel is there, whether it is within the plane or it is going outside the plane, and how the flow is there, whether it is turbulent flow is there, whether it is laminar flow is there, or the flow has got detached due to the rear view mirror. So how it is going to take place, and that is why we are telling this word asymmetric to the longitudinal center plane. So this is how the crosswind or the airflow around the crosswind takes place.
asymmetric क्यों है?
With crosswinds airflow around the vehicle means आपके जो rear view mirror है वहाँ पर हो सकता है आपका जो rear view mirror है वो square shape है, curve shape है, and आपके doors जो है और windows का जो है वो within the plane है या outside the plane है, because some have a straight within the line straight doors, means I'm talking about the shape. Some have a curve shape. So whether the fluid and with what speed you are moving also depends on that, with what speed the vehicle is going. So as you saw, they are not only drag but the other factors also, lift as well as crosswind, depends on the speed of the vehicle. So whether it is getting detached at the rear view mirror, or whether the flow has changed from streamline to turbulent, or whether it is there in the transition zone, and also the skirts like the running board what we say, or the seal, how that is there, how much outer it is from the vehicle. In some cases that is within the line, but in some cases if you will see, so the skirts are out of the out of the plane with respect to the door and window I'm taking. So it depends upon how the side structure or the surfacing with respect to rear view mirror, door, window and side skirt. So depending on that and depending on the speed of the vehicle, the lateral forces, that is the lateral forces, maybe crosswind forces may cause instability, or if the vehicle handling is designed good, like steering and suspension systems are well designed, so even it may not cause that much. Why? Because the flow depends whether it is laminar, whether it is turbulent, or whether it is in transition zone. And even if it is laminar, what is the Reynolds number of that particular fluid flow on that particular area? So you cannot, that is why it is, if I draw a longitudinal axis on the vehicle and if I remove the crosswind forces or lateral forces, I will find the streamline as symmetric about longitudinal axis, right? Why? Because I have removed the forces, I am not considering them. But as soon as I consider this lateral forces, I cannot say it is symmetric. So that is why it is said with crosswind, airflow around the vehicle is asymmetric. And why it is asymmetric? Because the flow may be laminar, may be in transition engine. In flow through radiator and engine, the most important internal flow fields are the airflow through the radiator and engine compartment, and heating and ventilation of passenger compartment. The engine cooling system has the important part when it comes to internal flow. The engine cooling system has to remove the heat flux Q, which is approximately of the same magnitude as that of the engine power. तो जितना power generate होगा उतना heat भी generate होगा, तो वो heat जो है वो dissipate करना है. So you need a very good engine cooling system. So the engine cooling system has the important task of removing the heat flux, and that is equivalent to the engine power. So the cooling system design plays a very important role. As the vehicle designs develop, with respect to it, the other component design needs to be developed. Now the requirement of cooling air has to be increased considerably. Why? Because you require it for larger cooling. Airflow is required for water cooling and for air cooling. So mostly it is required for water cooling as compared to air cooling. And what effect it has? The engine cooling has the following effect. Engine power. Engine power needs to be increased. Means if you have a proper cooling system, so your engine power, you will have a proper engine power for designed or whatever the power is rated for the engine. But if your engine is heating much and there is no proper dissipation, so definitely it will affect the power that is getting generated. So why it is essential to have a proper cooling system, and why you need a larger cooling airflow, means why internal cooling or why internal fluid flow or why internal airflow is required for water cooling majorly, and then for air cooling. And again, why we are learning this engine cooling system? Because first it has an effect on engine power. Okay, it has an effect on engine power. Then front end of the car. What do you mean by front end of the car? If you will see, previously the radiators used to be vertical, and now those radiators come horizontal. Because radiators used to be vertical, the front end cannot be flattened, means it cannot be depth down, the height has to be more. And because of that, there used to be major problems of like visibility problems, then vertical airflow and not covering the larger area. So those problems used to be there. vertical, like if you will see the normal control trucks, if you will see the normal control trucks, how they have the front such hooded, such a big end. So previously the car also, if you will see, it used to have such a big size front end and vertical radiator, and because of that the drag used to be more. Now with the horizontal radiators we have a flat end, and we are able to reduce the height of the front, and because of that we are having some reduction in the drag coefficient. And the third one is, because of that design change of the radiator, we also have a compact design, and less space is available now in the engine compartment for the radiator and cooling air duct. So this is all about the internal flow related to flow through radiator and engine. Now second is heating and ventilation of the passenger compartment. Now in the heating and ventilation of the passenger compartment, the cooling air must be given a path in such a manner that the velocity of the air in front of the radiator is uniform as possible. So now as I told you, if I am having a frontal area bigger and vertical radiator, so I am not covering the frontal area of the car much. But when I have a horizontal radiator, I am trying to cover some major portion of the frontal end of the car. So in this manner, I am able to achieve the flow through the compartment. Whereas in vertical design, it used to be a very small space used to be covered, and then air flows randomly once it gets more space. तो आपने एक vertical radiator लिया, flow of air हुआ, अब वो flow of air जो radiator का path है जितना behind it will flow somewhat to a certain distance through that path. But then जो आजू बाजू में जो space मिल रहा है वहाँ पर वो random flow हो रहा है. So this has given a problem. अब जैसे आप horizontal करते हो तो क्या होता है, major portion cover होता है और major portion uniform flow means inside the engine compartment major flow of air uniform होता है. So random flow of air और turbulent flow of air और जो भी Reynolds number जो भी है, it goes means थोड़े से section के लिए different होता है, and major portion is covered under uniform flow. So and in addition to this, the aerodynamic drag of the car considerably increases vertical radiator design के साथ. So and because of that, loss of momentum and cooling and air duct ये होता है. So this design was changed, and this design was there till 1950, and then slowly from 1950 till in 1975 they came up with this horizontal radiator design, which has given less amount of drag and improved engine cooling system. Now the airflow through passenger compartment has three important points. The first one is sufficient ventilation must be assured. So there should be sufficient ventilation, and means if you keep like your windows closed, you put on AC. Sometimes when aerodynamic, and Reynolds method based on Reynolds average Navier-Stokes equation. So based on the properties of compressible fluid, based on the properties of incompressible fluid, you have to eliminate some factors, you have to consider some factors, and then you have to equate it, and then you have to find out the solution. So this is complicated, but then you will learn it anyways. Till then, we reach to that particular part. It is the fourth part, like before the wind tunnel method. So when we come to the numerical method, and the method that we will be using is finite element, finite volume, and finite difference. So these methods will be used, and they are classified under linearized inviscid flow, non-linearized inviscid flow, method based on Reynolds average NS equation, solution of full NS equation. So these are the working methods. With the help of these methods, we will be doing the calculation of different factors of aerodynamics. Okay. And next is experimental method. In experimental method, the first very important is wind tunnel method and road testing method. We also do simulations with the help of transducers, semiconductors, and sensors and actuators. We build sensors and actuators, and then we install that in the vehicle, and then we do the testing, and after the testing, whatever result we get, we try to simulate with the help of certain softwares, and then we try to find it. So that is one more method. Okay, so these are the different working methods. So here the scope part is over with the basic principles under the scope. Then we have the internal and external flow under the scope, and then we have the different methods under the scope, that is working methods under the scope. So these are the three different methods, three different parts under the scope. Okay, so this is the end of the first 1.1 of module 1. Tomorrow I will start with 1.2, that is history of aerodynamic survey and all, inshallah. So that will be 1.2. That is also very big. So inshallah I will try to cover that. Okay. Any questions?
Ma'am, please
Hello?
send this PDF on the group.
If, actually PDF is not that, this is the PPT. In the end, when I will finish
Yes, ma'am,
the
PPT.
chapter wise, yeah, when I will finish chapter wise things, then I will, as soon as I cover first module or first chapter, then I will be giving you all this thing. Now the thing is, if I would have been a normal classroom would have been there, I would have dictated you all, because whatever I have explained, that needs to be written. From exam point of view, you need to maintain notes, and this is something like not particularly to one particular topic. I have to take many things to find out what your topic or syllabus, whatever is mentioned in your syllabus. So I have to refer many things to jot down to your particular syllabus point of view. Okay, so any other question? Hello, any other question?
मैम वो डायग्राम्स होते तो ज़्यादा अच्छा समझ में आता, क्योंकि वो वर्टिकल रेडिएटर, हॉरिजॉन्टल रेडिएटर, वो ये मालूम नहीं।
अच्छा, ओके ओके।
डायग्राम्स रहेंगे तो ज़्यादा
एक्चुअली ये जो भी है, ये सब यू कैन से द पॉइंट्स आर देयर, ये खाली इंट्रोडक्शन में डाले हैं, ये अभी आपको इन डेप्थ आगे पढ़ना है। तो व्हेन आई विल बी गोइंग टू दैट पॉइंट, लाइक जैसे एक्सटर्नल फ्लो में हमने ड्रैग, लिफ्ट और क्रॉसविंड फोर्स किया है, ये यहाँ पर नहीं खत्म होने वाला है, इनकी कैलकुलेशंस होने वाले हैं, तब हमको पर्टिकुलरली डायग्राम लेके पूरा करना है। तो जैसे रेडिएटर का भी जो है डायग्राम, I will be using it when I will be dealing with internal flow. The internal flow vertical था, तो flow कैसे था, flow path was this. Horizontal हो गया तो flow path कैसे था. So this is
So are we supposed to refer for this subject?
You can refer the first thing, Wolf Henrich book you can refer. This is entire aerodynamic of road vehicles. Then you have many this what we say SAE publications you have. Then you can refer Fanton also, because in Fanton aerodynamics is given in detail. Then APOP, wind tunnel testing. For wind tunnel testing you can refer the book of APOP. And SAE publication you will find like wind tunnel testing, you will find it separate. You will not find in one book. Then entire aerodynamic part you can find in Fanton, and you can find in this Huko WH, that is your again Wolf Henrich Huko. And then you can refer this APOP for wind tunnel testing. Then you have SAE publications for automotive aerodynamics and vehicle aerodynamics, and Fanton for this aerodynamic particularly. Because if you will just refer aerodynamic, you will get many things. You will get theoretical and concept explanation. But for numerical implementation and all, you need to refer Huko.
Ma'am, can you spell book?
HUCHO.
If you have soft copy, then please send in the group.
Okay, I will just.
Alright, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Any other question? Yes? Any other question? So actually the lecture was from 2 to 4, but as it is the first lecture and after break normally, so I'm taking it in short. I don't want to like continuously speaking just for the sake of continuing 2 hours lecture and understanding nothing. I don't know how many of you all actually were listening thoroughly and understood. I hope things were clear, and it will become more clear as we will proceed further, where I
Will
will
you
take
provide
one
notes?
part. Yes,
Will you provide?
video. Actually, I am not doing any recording or anything. If you want, I will provide things. Wherein the problem comes when I need to explain the diagrams. The pointing to the diagrams and that making you all understand becomes difficult, because in PPT either it should be like point to point, that marking and all, everything should be there. So some difficulty of pointing to the things becomes difficult. Anyways, let's see inshallah further we will see to it how we can proceed, because your numerical calculation are also there. So how it will be done. Any other questions? Anything that